Hello everyone, you are watching Analysis with me Manya Gupta. An athletic festival which is held every 4 years to celebrate the talent all over the world, where you meet champions, you meet nations and strive to fetch medals for your own country. Yes, I'm talking about the Olympics. Olympics every time is a point of discussion between everyone, but this year the discussion is different. It is more about controversies and debates. Since day one, Paris has been under dialogue for various reasons, be it the opening ceremony, the doping issues, the cheating allegations, or a sentenced rapist taking part in the games, and reaching to the worst, sexism and gender politics in such a high-spirited game. Let us get through the key takeaways from the Olympics up till now. Starting with the inaugural ceremony, which is meant for the nations to feel pride about where they come from, looking at their flags and feeling the zeal and passion to make their countries proud. And here was the first mistake which Paris Olympic organizers made, ridiculing the religious belief of Christians, as mentioned by the sources. The cultural ceremony had the sense of dancers and drag queens who depicted a few acts of the Last Supper. Last Supper, which was the last meal of Jesus Christ with his followers. Even though organizers have said that they planned to portray a pagan feast led by the Greek god of wine and festivity, Dionysus, that justification has not reduced the criticism. The obscene dance created offense among Christians by mocking their faith. Moving ahead, as soon as the excited flag-waving South Korean team walked down the river scene for their welcome, both the French and English announcers did welcome them, but as Democratic People's Republic of Korea, which is the official name of North Korea. This was a big blunder when it comes to the fragile geopolitics of both the nations. South Korea was keen to lodge a strong complaint with France at a government level. The International Olympic Committee, the IOC, issued an apology on its official Korean language X account. I quote, "We would like to offer a deep apology over the mistake that occurred in the introduction of the South Korean delegation during the opening." But it looked like that the slip-up didn't stop here. The Olympic organizers stumbled into another major blunder ahead of South Sudan's basketball game, which was at Pierre Maurice Stadium, where they played the wrong national anthem of the country.
And now, the national anthem of South Sudan. Mesdames, Messieurs, nous nous excusons pour l'erreur technique. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the technical error.
South Sudan's national anthem was replaced with that of Sudan's national anthem. The right anthem was played later, but the gaffe was quite disrespectful to the country. It seems that Paris is struggling to correctly identify names and countries this time. France planned to host such a large event faced another embarrassing moment where the Olympics' iconic flag was hoisted upside down, with the wrong ring positions and rain adding to the more chaos. But such mistakes on a global game platform only tarnished Paris' reputation as a host. While we talked about the major controversies at organizers' side, here is what Chinese athletes are facing now. China had a nasty history from the Tokyo Olympics when revelations were made that almost half of the athletes from Beijing, I repeat, half of the athletes, they were tested positive for a banned performance-enhancing substance in 2021. And what they are facing now is just a repercussion. Chinese butterfly stroke queen Zhang Yufei, who has reached the podium 4 times since beginning, is now having a bittersweet feeling about the win due to the doping issue. Till now, Chinese athletes have undergone almost 200 doping tests in 10 days, which China believes is hurting the sentiments of their people. Between the buzz surrounding China's swimmers, one athlete is quietly making waves. Dutch beach volleyball player Steven van de Waal. He is strongly criticized among the audience with many questions. Why an admitted rapist is allowed to compete? He was convicted in 2016 of raping a 12-year-old girl, and instead of completing 4 years of imprisonment, he has been seen playing since 2017 and now internationally. The 29-year-old Olympic rookie was greeted with a handful of boos ahead of his matches in Paris. I'm sure you must be catching the daily updates of the game, the wins and the losses. But one of the major losses is the sexist remarks that continue to plague the game still now. Where males are described as being bold, strong, and versatile, reports suggest that females are still getting comments about being aesthetic rather than athletic. They are still described as pregnant, married, or unmarried, compared with men on or outside the field. Why I am focused on this issue is because of the two commentators in Paris who are still living with that orthodox mentality of treating women as a household piece of beauty. British journalist Bob Ballard gave a misogynist comment saying on air after Australia won 4 into 100 meter freestyle relay, I quote, "Well, the women just finished up. You know what women are like, hanging around, doing their makeup."
Well, women just finishing off. You know what women are like, hanging around, doing the makeup.
This makeup joke has been recycled countless times, proving that some things never die even if they should. In return, this veteran Eurosport commentator was suspended. Another episode took place in tennis doubles match pitting Caroline Garcia and Diane Parry of France against Sara Errani and Jasmine Paoloni of Italy. A commentator's sexist portrayal of a tennis player as a housewife ignited a firestorm of criticism. He commented saying, "On the left, there is Sara Errani, who is the boss. She does everything, the washing up, the cooking and the mopping." Such bigotry comments has been met with condemnation from both the French Association of Women Sports Journalists and the Union of Sports Journalists in France. Women athletes continuously face a sexist camera frame angle every time they are being filmed. You might have seen that. Olympic Broadcasting Services CEO Yanis Exarchos has commented. He has criticized the persistent stereotype in camera work, noting that women athletes are frequently subjected to close-ups of their faces and their body parts, a treatment not typically afforded to male athletes. He emphasized the need to eliminate such discriminatory practices. This year was special for the fact that half of the athletes are women. But what has been seen is quite shameful. I move to another story. There was quite another debatable topic this year. You might have heard about the 46-second knockout win for Algerian boxer Imane Khalif against Italy's Angelina Carini at the Paris Olympics. The Italian broke down saying she has never been punched like this before. What exactly was the case? Let's discuss. Imane Khalif was disqualified from a gender test last year for being a woman and is facing a high testosterone controversy around her. Khalif is not alone. Chinese Taipei's double world champion Lin Yuting has been cleared to compete in Olympics despite previously being barred. These women were born female and they are not trans women. Rather, they have a unique XY chromosome in their body, turning into high testosterone levels. Testosterone is a sex hormone produced by both men and women. However, men produce up to 20 times more testosterone. But now the question is, how does this affect sports? Testosterone's role in building muscle and bone is well established, making it a banned substance in sports. Evidence suggests a link between high testosterone and athletic success, yet the extent to which it improves performance remains a subject of contention. Coming back to the story of Olympics. Imane Khalif, who was considered a trans woman, meaning a male turned into a female, is a false statement. She has proper female reproductive system and has always participated in female boxing championships. She, in her past boxing events, has never faced this issue until last year when she was questioned about her gender. by the IBA, which is International Boxing Association. Olympic organizers look at passports and their own medical test for gender. IOC spokesperson Mark Adams said everyone taking part in this women's event was complying with the competition eligibility rules.
Two athletes were the victims of a sudden and arbitrary decision by the IBA. Towards the end of the IBA World Championships in 2023, they were suddenly disqualified without any due process. The current aggression against these two athletes is based entirely on this arbitrary decision, which was taken without any proper procedure, especially considering that these athletes had been competing in top-level competition for many years.
So the main controversy revolves around whether such women should be allowed in female sports, and answer lies to the idea of gathering top sports scientists and governing bodies to conduct studies and learn about the possible ways of settling such issues. While I conclude, but the games have already been marred by controversy. Drama had unfolded even before the opening ceremony, casting a shadow over the sporting event.